Hello everyone, welcome to Global Online. In this lecture, we are going to see NTA UGC Net Paper 1, and in today's lecture, we are going to discuss most expected MCQ on Teaching Aptitude Unit. And in today's session, we are going to discuss MCQ on meaning, concept and level of teaching. So do watch this lecture to clear all your doubt about the same, and you will receive my lecture every day at 7 am. So do visit our channel every day at 7 in the morning and do watch my lecture to score more marks in the upcoming exam. Before we move forward, I want to tell you that we the Global Online has brought 2000 plus MCQ quick revision PDF in which you are going to get current affairs questions, previous year questions, most expected questions and most repeated questions for the paper 1, and this PDF is available just for rupees 599. To get a PDF, contact on given number. अगर आप ये PDF लेके स्टडी करते हो तो मैं श्योर हूँ कि आपको 70-75 मार्क्स इजीली मिल जाएंगे और आपका पेपर 1 इजीली क्लियर हो जाएगा. What you are waiting for? Get the PDF and start your preparation today. A teacher should identify what and teach accordingly. So here in this question they ask you, a teacher one who is teaching in the classroom should identify what and teach accordingly. And for this the first option here is economic condition of the student. Second one is individual differences among the students. Third one is economic condition of the parents, and the last one is individual differences among the parents. So we consider the teacher is an importance variable, right? Why we consider the teacher as an important variable? Because the teacher is the one who play the important role in the life of student, right? A teacher helps the student to understand the concept and build a better knowledge. A teacher should understand the learning ability of the student and the individual differences among the student and teach accordingly. If the when the teacher is teaching in the classroom and if there is a student who is a slow learner, okay, so the teacher have to think about that children or about that child and teach accordingly. So the teacher one who is teaching can't go too fast or can't go too slow. So teacher have to understand everybody's mind, okay, the individual differences among the learner. A teacher should consider all the individual differences of the student before planning the lesson, since the each student is a different. Okay, the every student in the class will not be the same. Each student have a different capacity, different ability, right? So we consider the each student is a different. They understand and learn with their own speed. So what will be the answer here? So the answer will be option number 2. Okay, the teacher should identify individual differences among the students and teach accordingly. Reflective teaching is. So in this question they ask you about the reflective teaching or what is reflective teaching, and for this they given you the 4 options, in which the first option is it is a cyclic process of a thinking about the learning. Second one is linear process of thinking about teaching. Third one is cyclic process of thinking about the teaching, and the last one is linear process of thinking about learning. So here the reflective teaching is the process where the teacher reflects on what is being taught by him or her in the classroom. Okay, so the teacher examines the effectiveness. What teacher is doing? He examines the effectiveness of the approach adopted by him. Thus, the detailed evaluation and the analysis of teaching practice and think of the way to improve it. Reflective teaching is a cyclical process of thinking about the teaching, because here a teacher continuously thinks about his or her teaching and way to improve it. Okay, so here what teacher is doing is a continuously thinking. about his or her teaching. So how he can improve it? Reflective teaching is a great method used by the seasoned and the new teacher to improve their method of teaching. So here the correct answer will be option number 3. That is, it is a cyclical process of thinking about the teaching. Why? Because here the teacher is continuously thinking about his or her teaching and how he or she can improve it. Okay? Which of the following is not applicable to the internal assessment? So here in this question they given you the 4 options and they ask you given which of the following is not applicable to the internal assessment. So read the question carefully. Here they ask you about the not applicable. Okay. And for this question they given you the options in which the first option is integration of the teaching and the evaluation. Second one is testing of a skills and ability. Third one is periodic and continuous testing. And the last one is use of only achievement tests. So now understand what is internal assessment. So here the internal assessment is the process, okay, in which the teacher and the institute judge the student performance on the basis of his performance. Achievement test is a test of a development skill and a knowledge. So we consider the achievement test as a test of development and knowledge. And the most common type of achievement test is a standardized test developed to measure the skills and knowledge. Okay. The answer here for this question is option number 4. Use of only achievement test is not applicable to the internal assessment. What is the very important in the process of learning? So here in this question they given you the 4 options and they ask you given which is the very important in the process of learning. So for this the first option is school atmosphere, second one is infrastructure, third one is previous knowledge and the last one is teacher's personality. So if we look carefully, so all these things are important, but it asks you which is very important. Please read the question carefully. Okay. So according to the Devi, 1933 experience and a reflection in the action are the most important requirement of the learning. The prior knowledge has long been considered the most important factor influencing the learning and student achievement. So here the prior knowledge played a very important role in the teaching learning process or the student achievement. The amount and the quality of the prior knowledge positively influence and both the knowledge acquisition and the capacity apply to the higher order cognitive problem solving skill. The previous knowledge and the experience of the learner are directly related to the teaching process. Why? Because if we know about certain concept, then it will be easy to understand that concept, right? So we say that the previous knowledge is a very important in the process of the learning. So here the answer will be option number 3, that is previous knowledge. So if we look at another option, that is school atmosphere and the infrastructure, they are related to the learning environment. Both are related to learning environment, and it is a truth that this factor have some impact on the learning but not primarily. And if we look at the teacher's personality, the personality of the teacher is the quality of the teacher. So this is a quality of teacher and not the quality of the learner. Effective teacher. So in this question they ask you about a effective teacher. For this the first option is allow the student to ask question. Second one is complete syllabus within the time. Third one is provide variety of a learning experience. And the last one is explain everything to the absent student. Learning experience refer to any interaction, course, program or other experience in which learning takes place. When the learner is exposed to a multiple learning experience, their learning improves. So the effective teacher will be a person who provides a variety of the learning experience. That means correct answer here will be option number 3. That is, it provides a variety of learning experience. If your student have a problem related to the learning your subject, then the best solution is. So in this question they ask you, imagine that you are a teacher and if your student have a problem related to the learning with your subject, then what will be the best solution according to these options? Okay, for this first option here is increasing homework, second one is supervised study, third one is diagnostic teaching, and the last one is frequent assessment. So here the diagnostic teaching help in relieving in the individual weakness and the strength. In a certain course of the study, and the main aim behind the diagnostic teaching is the determine the cause of learning problem and to formulate plan for the remedial action. It plays a significant role in the improving the learning outcome for the student, and it will be a pinpoint on the types of error that were along with their causes. It helps to determine the student's level of knowledge, skill and understanding at the beginning of the course, grade level, unit and a lesson. Here the teacher analyzes the student on what they already know, means the previous knowledge, and adjust the curriculum to meet the needs of the student. So here the answer will be option number 3. If your student have a problem related to the learning with your subject, then the best solution is the diagnostic teaching. In which level of teaching the learner get an opportunity to discriminate the length between the positive and the negative explainer of the concept. So here in this question they given you the levels of the teaching. So please remember the different levels of a teaching. So there is a memory level is there, then there is a understanding level, then a reflective level is there, and a autonomous development level is also there. So in this question they ask you, given which of the methods or in a level, the learner get the opportunity to discriminate the length between the positive and the negative explainer of the concept. So here when we talk about the memory level, it is a thoughtless teaching. Which we use to the primary level, okay, where we are trying to memorize the things. Second one is understanding level of teaching. The teaching at the understanding level is a higher quality than one at the memory level. It is a more useful or a thoughtful from the point of view of a mental capacity. Okay, here the learner is trying to understand the things. Then is a reflective level. This level is also known as a introspective level. Once the student memorize the things, then he understand the things, and then he try to reflect the things. Okay, reflective level is a useful to the higher level of education. And the last one is a autonomous level, development level. Autonomous means the ability to take a control on one's own learning. And the autonomous learner will take more responsibility of a learning and is likely to more effective than the learner who is relevant on the teacher. The focus of a concern is effective and effects and the feelings. Here the correct answer is option number B, that is understanding level. In an understanding level of a teaching, the learner get the opportunity to discriminate at the length between the positive and the negative explorer of the concepts. The selection of teaching aid depend largely on. So here they ask you about the selecting of the teaching aid, which is largely depend on which of the given factor. So for this, the first option is age of the student, second one is interest of the student, third one is age and the motivation of the student, and the last one is educational level and the age of the student. First, understand what is teaching aid. So here the teaching aids are the object, okay, or the device which is used by the teacher to enhance the classroom instruction. That will be the audio-visual teaching aid, such as videos or a guest lecture. Okay. And in today's era, the traditional classroom teaching is a shift to the online teaching, and therefore the digital tools are used as a teaching aid. For example, we use the videos, we use the audios, right? We use the PPTs while teaching. That all these things are the teaching aid. Now, using of the teaching aid is a largely depend on which of the following factor they are asking you. So it will be on the educational level and the age of the student. So why the educational level and the age of the student? Supposing if the student is or a child is learning in the class first or in KG level, we can't show the big videos or a big chart because the student will not understand anything, right? The student will get the confused. So the education level and the age of the student matters while selecting the teaching aid. So therefore the correct answer for this question will be option number 4. Selection of teaching aid depends largely on education level and the age of the student. The communication process is active and interactive at a very high level in which of the following level of the teaching. So here in this question they ask you about the communication process which is active and interactive at the very high level in which of the given level of the teaching. For this the first option is reflective level, then the understanding level is there, then memory level, and the last one is the autonomous development level. So the reflective level of the teaching is the main proponent of a reflective level of a teaching is a Hunt. Please remember this. It is a proponent by the Hunt. And it is the highest level of the teaching which involves the use of the problem-centric approach. The classroom environment is open at this level of the teaching. It leads to the development of the creative skill. It develops the skill of a learner by solving the real life problem. The techniques used are a student center. Okay. So here the correct answer is option number A, that is reflective level. So here is the last question which you have to answer. The question is, Which of the following method of teaching will encourage the indirect learning? For this, the first option is lecturing with example. Second one is team teaching. Third one is demonstration on the subject. And the last one is collaborative project. Please try to answer this question. Write your answer in the comment box. I'm waiting for your answer. Okay. Till then, keep watching, keep learning.